What is up, everybody, and welcome back to Aiden's World of Sports, the #1 podcast on YouTube. I'm Aiden, and I'm here to talk to you about football this weekend. So, this is recorded Monday after Championship Sunday. Now we know the matchup of the Super Bowl. It's very unexpected. I don't think anyone would have predicted this with the start of the playoffs, but the Bengals have marched through the AFC, and the Rams have made it through the tough NFC. They will face off in an epic Super Bowl battle that'll take place in 2 weeks. Now, for my predictions, I think the Bengals are going to win it. I've doubted them all postseason. I doubted them against the Raiders. I doubted them against the Titans. I doubted them highly against the Chiefs, and they've proved me wrong each time. Now, I doubted the Rams against the Bucs, but I had no doubt in my mind that they could beat the 49ers and beat the Cardinals as well. So, to be expected, I think it's going to be a 31-27 game in the Bengals' favor. And let's break down the position battles of this game right now. So on the top left of me, you will see the Bengals players for each position, and on the right, you will see the Rams players. So for quarterbacks, let's start with Joe Burrow of the Bengals and Matt Stafford of the Rams. Now, Stafford is a veteran. He does not have much playoff experience, though, as he played for the Lions all career up until this last year, where a year ago today he was traded to the Rams. Now, because of this, I think that the experience in this game will not matter. Though he's a poised veteran and though he has maybe more confidence in some situations than Joe Burrow does, I think Burrow is more accurate. I think the Bengals are going to win this game because of Burrow's confidence and the team's confidence in Joe Burrow. The Rams have not fully meshed together as a team, as Joe Burrow and some of his college teammates have been meshing together for years playing together, and that's going to give them the big edge, like Joe Burrow and Jamar Chase. Now, Matt Stafford is an elite deep ball thrower, but last night against the 49ers, he did not look the part. He underthrew a ball that almost got intercepted by Jaquiski Tartt, and if it was intercepted, we would be seeing a Bengals-49ers Super Bowl. At least that's very likely what would have happened. And so, because of this, I'm taking the Bengals, at least for now. I think Joe Burrow has the edge over Matt Stafford in the position battle, and if I had to give them both grades out of 10, I would give Joe Burrow an 8.5 out of 10 and Matt Stafford an 8 out of 10. It's a very slight edge for the Bengals. But now, let's look at running backs. For the Bengals, you have Joe Mixon and Samaje Perine, and for the Rams, you have Cam Akers and Sonny Michel. Now, Sonny Michel has been in the Super Bowl once before already. Actually, he's been in the Super Bowl twice before with the New England Patriots. So he does have that experience, and he has had a pretty good season filling in for Cam Akers while he was injured. Now Cam Akers is back, and he has not been producing like he used to. Maybe because of his injury, it may be because of external factors. We will never know. But Joe Mixon produced all season long. He was the third leading rusher on the year with 1,200 rushing yards. And so far in the playoffs, though he hasn't had any huge games, he's fit the role that the Bengals have needed him to. And Samaje Perine has been catching balls out of the backfield and running for important runs. Yesterday, he caught a 43-yard touchdown pass against the Chiefs, and that wasn't all he's done. So I think for the Bengals running back tandem, I'm going to give them a 9. And for the Rams, I'm going to give them a 7.5. And I'm going to give that edge to the Bengals. Now, receivers. For the Rams' top 3, you have Cooper Kupp, Odell Beckham Jr., and Van Jefferson. And for the Bengals' top 3, you have Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and Tyler Boyd. Now, the #1 receiver battle goes to Cooper Kupp, 100%. Had a great season, won the Triple Crown, was only 16 yards short of the NFL season record for receiving yards. But Jamar Chase also had a great season as a rookie. He was an All-Pro, and he finished 4th in the league in receiving yards. It was Cooper Kupp, Justin Jefferson, Devontae Adams, and then Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase had a great season, but so did Cooper Kupp. And I'm going to compare them and say that though Jamar Chase has potential to be better than Cooper Kupp in the future, as of now, Cooper Kupp is better. Based off of right now, I would give the Rams receiver 1 a 10 and the Bengals receiver one a 9. So Cooper Kupp takes the edge there. Now for second receivers, you have Odell Beckham, who though is a veteran, and we did see him struggle with the Browns, has been back to his form with the Rams. He's made a huge impact in the 9 games that he played there in the regular season, and the 3 games so far in the playoffs, he's been huge in all of them. And T. Higgins, the second-year speedster out of Clemson. I'm going to give this one to the veteran. OBJ has polished route running skills, and we all know what he can do when he's on his game. And T. Higgins has shown flashes of greatness, but he has not yet come out as that Odell Beckham type receiver. And I would still say right now that Odell Beckham has the edge over him, though it's slight. T. Higgins did have a great season, finished with over 1,000 yards receiving, but I'm giving it to Odell Beckham at the moment because I know how good he could be, and I know what a difference to a team he makes. So I would give Odell Beckham as a second receiver an 8, maybe an 8.5, and I would give T. Higgins just slightly below that, maybe at a 7.5 or 7.75. It's very, very close right now. And for the third receivers, Van Jefferson and Tyler Boyd. Tyler Boyd plays strictly as a slot receiver, but he has not been getting that many targets this year, as CJ Uzomah in the playoffs has stepped up and has been taking a lot of those targets. But with CJ Uzomah going down to injury yesterday, you immediately saw Tyler Boyd making an impact. He had 3 catches for 17 yards on the first drive, and he was looked at many more times throughout the game, but was covered amazingly. So, if I had to give the edge to someone over Tyler Boyd and Van Jefferson, I think I would give the edge to Tyler Boyd, because I'll talk about Van Jefferson right now. He seems to strictly be a deep threat. His short route running and his medium route running, or mid route running, has yet to really be established. He's not that much of a route runner unless it's to go deep. He has the speed, and he could beat almost any cornerback over the top. But if you have safety help to help him there, or a double team, he's almost completely useless. It's not that he's not a good receiver, because he is, and he's contributing a lot in this Rams offense. But Tyler Boyd has the ability to contribute much more than Van Jefferson does, as Tyler Boyd can be a very, very good route runner in all aspects of the field. He also can catch the ball in traffic, and he's a great run-after-catch receiver, unlike Van Jefferson. So I'm going to give, as a wide receiver 3 grade, Tyler Boyd will get a 7.5, and Van Jefferson will get a 6.5. A pretty significant difference, but the Rams will still win that position battle of wide receivers. They have a better core than the Bengals do. Now, I don't know what's going to happen with these tight ends, because both of these tight ends got injured in the last game. CJ Uzomah was ruled out early with an MCL sprain, but it could be more severe. He's getting an MRI today, and we will still yet to know if he's able to participate in the Super Bowl. So let's say all tight ends are healthy, because Tyler Higbee also went out with a knee injury early in the game against the 49ers. Uzomah against Higbee. Now, Uzomah of late has been contributing more, but Higbee is a good red zone threat. And I think that overall, Tyler Higbee is just a little bit better than CJ Uzomah, though CJ Uzomah gets the ball more than Tyler Higbee does. I think that I'm not going to go into depth about it because I don't think either of them are going to be able to play. But if I had to grade these two tight ends, I would give Higbee a 7 and Uzomah a 6.5 out of 10. I think that they're both good. They're both still have a lot to learn and have a lot to grow in their games. But both can be red zone threats, and Uzomah can be a short ball safety valve option, as Higbee not as much. Now, if both of these tight ends are not healthy, it's going to be between Kendall Blanton for the Rams and Drew Sample for the Bengals. Drew Sample didn't get the ball much in the Chiefs game after Uzomah went down because he couldn't get separation and he was not open at all. It's a big issue, as he doesn't really know how to run routes to find separation, as they kept putting him on the same out route, but he was guarded heavily each time. Impossible to do against a good Rams secondary. Kendall Blanton had 5 receptions for 57 yards after Higbee went down, and he caught a touchdown in the divisional round game against the Bucs. So I think that Kendall Blanton, though he's not that good, he still has flashes over Drew Sample, and he will definitely produce more than Drew Sample will produce if they play in the Super Bowl, and that is the matchup at the tight ends. I would have to give Blanton like a 5.5 and Sample like a 4. I mean, they're both not really that good. That's why they're backups. But you never know. Both can produce, both can have big games. The Bengals offense runs through the tight end a lot, and you've seen it with Tyler Eifert in the past, and now you're seeing it with Uzama. And the Rams, Higbee's really their red zone threat, and he catches a lot of touchdowns, so we'll see what they can do without him if that's the case. Now let's go with O-line. The Bengals' offensive line was abysmal in the game against the Titans, but they were pretty good yesterday against the Chiefs. Joe Burrow only got sacked twice, and so though he didn't have a lot of time to throw, and you saw that they were consistently getting beat by Chris Jones. Melvin Ingram consistently beat their edge tackles a couple of times. I think that it's serviceable. It's not a great offensive line, but they're not abysmal like, let's say, the Giants' offensive line. But it's not going to be near as good as the Rams line with Andrew Whitworth and Joseph Noteboom, who might be coming back, though he might not play a lot. He'll still get snaps at left tackle. He'll play some right tackle. The Rams' offensive line has been great all year long as they've been protecting Matt Stafford, which is the reason why they're so good. Matt Stafford is terrible under pressure, and you saw that with the Lions all the time. So I think the Rams have one of the best offensive lines in the league, and you could see that. And so the Rams have the edge over the Bengals for sure. I would say the Bengals' offensive line is like a 6.5, maybe a 7. The Rams' offensive line is like an 8.5 to a 9. It's very, very good. Now let's go with the defensive line. The Rams have the best player on the defensive side of the football on the defensive line in Aaron Donald. And that's a fact. You cannot argue that he's the best player on the defensive side of the ball. He might be the most dominant player in the NFL right now. He might be the best player on both sides of the ball. Then you have another edge threat, Von Miller. You also have Leonard Floyd. The defensive line for the Rams is the best in the league without a doubt. It is a solid 10. 10 out of 10, the only team in the league who will ever get this grade right now. And I would say for the next 4 years. As long as Aaron Donald is on your line, that line is at least above a 9, no matter what you have around him. Then you have the Bengals' defensive line, which isn't that bad, but also it isn't that good. Trey Hendrickson has been iffy these playoffs, though he came up big in the divisional round and the wild card. He led their team with 14.5 sacks, which was a franchise record. That's pretty terrible for a franchise record, but good on Trey Hendrickson. He has had a great season. The Bengals' defensive line is mid, though. I would say it's like a 6, 7 out of 10. You can put it anywhere in between, but you can't put it above. They're not in the top tier defensive line, so they're probably in the bottom half easily. And so the Rams can easily put so much pressure on Joe Burrow and get to the quarterback and sack him, and that will be one of the keys to the Super Bowl. Now let's look at the linebacking core. The Rams, if you want to count Von Miller as a linebacker more than an edge threat, you have Von Miller. You also have Leonard Floyd, who's more of a linebacker. He's your main linebacker. And you have Logan Wilson on the Bengals. Those are really your two big linebackers that you're going to see a lot of. Logan Wilson has been amazing in his second year. He came out of nowhere, had a pretty bad rookie season, and he came out, he tackles well, he covers well, he has amazing play recognition, he knows when to go for a run, he knows when to go for a blitz, and he knows when he has to stay in coverage. And Leonard Floyd is also amazing at getting to the quarterback. This is a matchup of two great linebackers. And to be honest, I'm going to give the edge to Logan Wilson. In his second year, he's more explosive, and he has better play recognition, and he has better coverage than Leonard Floyd. So I think Logan Wilson will get an 8, and Leonard Floyd will get a 7.5 out of 10 for me. Now let's go with the secondary. For the Rams, you have the best cornerback in all of football in Jalen Ramsey. You also have safeties like Eric Weddle, who's replacing Taylor Rapp. You also have other decent cornerbacks. And for the Bengals, the main focal point in their secondary is Jesse Bates. They also have Eli Apple, who made a great play on Tyreek Hill. You also have Von Bell, who's another good safety. Now, if we have to talk about which is better, obviously, the Rams have one of the best defenses in the league all around, and their secondary is probably a top 5 secondary in the game. The Bengals, though, aren't too far behind. They have a top 10 secondary in the game, in my opinion, and I think that you've seen that all season. As they come up clutch, they play good coverage, and they get interceptions. They force a lot of turnovers. So if I had to rate them, I would say 8.5 for the Bengals secondary and 9.25 for the Rams secondary. It is 100% the Rams having a better secondary than the Bengals. No debate about it, but it's close. And this could come down to who forces more turnovers in this game. Now, this isn't really, we don't have to rate kickers, but both of these kickers have been money all postseason long. Evan McPherson, a rookie for the Bengals, and Matt Gay. This is his first year in LA. I'm going Evan McPherson. 10 out of 10, best kicker in the league. No, I'm kidding. But he is a 10 out of 10 so far this postseason. He is perfect from field goals. He has 2 game-winning field goals so far. He's been excellent. And for the Rams, Matt Gay has also had a game-winning field goal. He also did great yesterday against the 49ers. Though he had a missed kick from 54, he still came up clutch. I'm going to give him like an 8.5. Evan McPherson has so much confidence, though. There's no kicker right now that is hotter than him. I mean, who has made more kicks and been more successful than he has. And it's going to be a great Super Bowl. It might come down to a battle between the kickers. It might come down to a coin toss again. So far, this has been the best postseason of all time. There's been so many close games. There have been multiple games that have come down to a coin toss. Lots of game-winning field goals, lots of good defense, lots of great offense, and the Super Bowl will provide way more of that. But I'm going with Joe Shiesty and the Bengals to beat Matt Stafford and the Rams 31-27 in a high-scoring shootout that will come down to the line. I think Joe Burrow will lead the Bengals to a game-winning drive in the final 3 minutes somehow to score a touchdown while they were down 3. They will score a touchdown, and Matt Stafford will try and throw a heave down the field, and it will get picked off, and the Bengals will be your 2021-2022 Super Bowl champions. Mark my words, come back to this video, and if this blows up, I want to see people comment. If this blows up, I will do whatever the top comment says on this video. I'm confident that the Bengals will not lose. But if the Bengals lose, I will do whatever the top comment on this video is. Joe Burrow, don't choke. Let's go Bengals. I'm out. See you next time.